Hey everyone, welcome back to another study on the 7 habits of highly effective people with me, Jason Duncan, and Results for Integrity. As you know, if you've been following this video series, I've been going through this card deck from the 7 habits of highly effective people, Stephen Covey's organization. It's a card deck that goes through 52 weeks of the year, all different activities each week about how to implement the 7 habits of highly effective people. We're on week number 20, and week number 20 is about living in Quadrant 2. Live in Quadrant 2. And if you see here on the screen, this is the time matrix that the Covey organization has put together with the 4 quadrants, and how each of those quadrants deal with how we react to certain things in our schedule from time to time. And what this tip this week teaches us is that we need to live in Quadrant 2. So if we go through the questions and the points here on the card on the front, it says choose a Q2 activity that could have a significant impact on your life. So I want you to think about what that might be. What is a Q2 activity that might have a significant impact on your life? And of course, those Q2 activities are things like proactive work, important goals, creative thinking, etc., as you can see here on the screen. So think about one of those activities. Now schedule time this week to do that. If you're going to be a highly effective person as a business leader, as an entrepreneur, what you need to make sure is that you schedule time on those Quadrant 2 activities. If you flip the card over and look at the back, it says to ask yourself, which Q2 activity do I most need to implement? And if you look at that list of what those Q2 activities are, it's proactive work, important goals, creative thinking, planning and preparing, building relationships, renewal, and recreation. Now I want you to think about, as you go through those 6 different activities, I want you to think about which of those do I need to implement. And so let's say, for instance, you need to do creative thinking. So what I want to encourage you to do this week, as you sit down and watch this video and you're really putting this into practice, I want you to go to your planner, whether you use your calendar on your phone or your computer or a written calendar, and I want you to block out 90 minutes. That's it, just 90 minutes to start. And I want you to spend that 90 minutes doing creative thinking. Don't do anything else. Don't answer email. Don't answer the phones. Don't let anybody come visit you in your office. Just sit down and think. Get a whiteboard. If you're like me, I'm a visual learner and I like to write on the whiteboard. Write out the things that you're thinking about. How would you make your business better? How would you be better at your craft? What do you need to implement? What big ideas do you have? Do that with all 6 of these activities. I'm using creative thinking as our example for today, but schedule that time this week. The quote from Stephen Covey this week is, "The main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing." So make sure that you live in Quadrant 2. If you're going to be an effective, highly effective person, you need to live in Quadrant 2. Thank you for following this video series on the 7 habits of highly effective people with me, Jason Duncan, and Results for Integrity. I would be honored if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can find me on LinkedIn and Instagram at The Real Jason Duncan. You can find me on Facebook at RTI Coach, and you can find me on Twitter at Real Jason Duncan. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next week.